This is my Triumph. It's a 2009 Bonneville Speedmaster. It's a cruiser, so it's got the forward controls. It's very long and very heavy and very low. 28-inch seat height, maybe a little less than that. And if you think of a Harley 883, this has an 865cc engine and about a foot longer and about a half a foot longer wheelbase. Similar weight, about 600 pounds. Very heavy and low. So it's awfully comfortable and planted in the wind on highways, but it's a damn handful in parking lots. I had a 68 Cadillac, and this reminds me of what that thing was like to do a U-turn in tight spaces. I've debated how much to talk about Triumph, the company, in this video. So let me just say this. I live in New Mexico, and I also owned this when I lived in Los Angeles. And Americans really don't know much about Triumph. And I know that these videos get seen overseas, so this will come as a surprise to my British viewers. But a lot of people think Triumph went out of business a long time ago, maybe came back, maybe never came back. But here's the nutshell. Triumph has been in continuous business since 1902. When they set the world speed record in 1959, they became very, very popular in the States. So I got a lot of older guys walking up to this thing in parking lots, remembering the 1960s and the Triumph they had way back when. Around the time of the Honda 750 four-cylinder, that was pretty much the end of the British bike industry in the United States. The big four Japanese took all that business, and Triumph kind of went away essentially for a while. BSA and other brands disappeared entirely. Royal Enfield moved to India. But in 2002, a new owner and a new factory really stepped up, and they're selling a lot of Triumphs in the States again. Basic walk around. I'm gonna start with these brakes. This is pretty intense. These discs are enormous. I think they were self-conscious when they brought back Triumph and they wanted it to be overbuilt, and this is an example of over-engineering. There's a lot of brakes on this. This thing could stop a locomotive going down a mountain. When you come to a planned stop, if you hit the front brakes, it will nosedive on you. It's got so much stopping power. And speaking of the rake, of these forks, it looks great. It's a great looking bike, and it would make it look great in a painting. But I think this rake is so long, it makes the bike 8 feet long with a 6 foot wheelbase. That's pretty lengthy for a mid-sized cruiser. I think they might have overdone it, but who am I to say? Oil cooler. It's still an air-cooled bike, so the cooling fins are functional. And you know, in New Mexico in the summertime, this bike gets hot. But what are you going to do? I like air-cooled bikes. Forward controls. It's a cruiser. Side stand. No center stand. Not sure I would even use a center stand on a 600-pounder. Not a bike to be putting up on a center stand. These are the factory pipes. They're pretty boogered up, you know, with 20, almost 3,000 miles I've put on this thing. They're quiet, they burble. I'm not a huge fan of overly loud pipes. We've seen the fake carburetor, the fake air cleaner, the fake choke, which actually is a functional idle adjust, cold mornings. And I like how they use the battery strap to echo the look of the fake air cleaner. I've left the buddy pegs on. This is a 2-up seat, but with the factory bags, and really I just don't carry passengers on there. It's really more for looks, but you know, there it is. The tank. This thing began life as an all black, what do they call it? Phantom black. It's like a metallic. I dropped this thing in gravel at 0 miles an hour, and I used the need to repair it as an excuse to have my guy two-tone it a la the factory. This was a look you could get from the factory. I think Triumph wanted 800 bucks for the part. I got my guy to repair and paint it for about half of that. Good looking gauges on here, I like them very much. Analog, very easy to read, resettable trip odometer, and the Speedmaster, unlike the very similar America, has a tachometer up here. It's a beautiful touch, and I think bikes ought to have tachometers. Twin shocks. This thing really is suspended. You float over the potholes pretty well. Non-factory, but very good idea. Flashing LED brake lights. They pop really hard and they're disturbing to when you pull up behind them, so I like pissing people off. I want them to see me. This is aftermarket bags. And I don't think there's anything unique on this side. Here's the sight glass. Checking the oil is a two-person operation. You can see the oil filter hiding down under there. Forward controls, factory pipes, the other fake carburetor. Oh, when they went to fuel injection, they changed the tank. That's why it's so wide and bulbous. The EFI unit is hidden up underneath it. And this is a 4-gallon plus tank compared to like a Harley Peanut, which literally blinks the fuel light after 60 miles. You can go a couple 100 miles on this comfortably. There we have it. The key, for better or worse, is hidden under the seat like an old Harley. I just soon have it up on the dashboard, but what do I know? This thing has a lot of safety overrides, so you got to pull this side stand up. I'm on an incline here. And oh, if your battery doesn't have 100% charge, it won't start. That's some sort of a computer protector feature for the electronic fuel injection. So use a battery tender. Tell the idle's out. 5-speed, 1 down, 4 up. What grade are you in, James?
First grade.
Perfect. Time to learn the parts of a motorcycle. What is this?
A carburetor.
No, it's not.
But it's an air filter and it's a choke.
It looks like a carburetor. It's a fake carburetor. Triumph, when they went to fuel injection, they put on a fake carburetor. Actually, 2. There's one on the other side. A fake air cleaner, 2 of those. And that's an idle, not a choke.
But that's a carburetor and that's a choke.
Yeah, you're right.
If it doesn't have a carburetor, where's the injector?
It's hidden up under the fuel tank.
Is this a fake motorcycle?